All right, good. Well, hey, thank you all for being here. Welcome. After lunch, we'll try to be very loud, but it's very easy in this room to do that. Kevin Martins, and we'll go through a quick round of introductions here and on the next slide. I do.
Scott Rendell.
And I'm Scott Southern.
Yep. And just a quick thank you to all of our sponsors. This is all part of the deck. You guys have seen this before. This is awesome. I've known a number of these companies and the leaders there for a while. Fantastic. Thank you to the organizers. They did a great job this morning. And for many of you that have been to many Comms vNext conferences like this, these guys do an incredible job. Every year, it's just a pleasure to come back. So, agenda. We'll continue on with some intros, and we'll get right into it. So me, Kevin, Westminster, Maryland, Central Maryland area, born and raised there, married, 3 kids, was in Microsoft for a long time. Recently joined the Partner Masters about a year ago. If anyone's interested in what they do, I'm happy to talk to you later on about that. Well, you've got a passion for cybersecurity and collaboration. I actually took that passion and call me crazy, but I picked up the second job as a professor at a university to teach it. And I have fun doing that, right? It's when you're inspired about something, it's very easy to teach about it. So a little bit about me and Scott.
So for those of you who haven't heard, I'm a former roadie. I toured with all the biggest rock and roll bands in the world in the 80s and early 90s. I've got 7 patents to my name. They're all related to the rock and roll world. If you've ever seen the moving lights that go back and forth, change colors and stuff like that, that's me.
Wait.
That's me. Yep. After being a roadie, I taught high school. I taught kids for 5 years. I've been employed by CDW for 5.5 years. It's a great place to be. I enjoy working there. They're very challenging. And I like challenges an awful lot. I like teaching people new things that they haven't ever seen before. Hopefully I get to see the lights come on when I start showing you some things. I've been married for 34 years. I've got 2 great kids, 32 and 24 years old. My grandfather was employee number 3 of Disney. Walt, Roy, and my grandpa. I'm from Estes Park, Colorado, little town up here in the mountains where they're supposed to get anywhere between 2 and 5 feet of snow tonight.
Just stay here tonight, okay?
I will.
I will. Don't go home. Yeah.
I was raised around exotic animals also.
Wait. Around or by?
Both. If you couldn't find me at home or climbing mountains, you could find me at the next door neighbors. They had a cheetah, and I was hanging out with the cheetah. That's what I enjoyed to do. That's what I really enjoyed doing. I love riding my motorcycle. You see me up here in my motorcycle gear. As a matter of fact, I'm in Estes Park with that picture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Motorcycle is.
Oh, the motorcycle, I don't have a picture to show you. It is a Honda Silverwind. It's a 600cc bike. 4 years ago, I crashed it. Broke every plastic panel on the bike. Decided I needed to start learning how to plastic weld. I just needed to start learning how to do Bondo and body work, and I repainted the bike, and now the bike wins in bike competitions whenever I show it. So that's a little bit about me. Scott.
I can't follow that. my claim to fame is I just like old stuff. So anyway, Scott Rendell, new president of the board of directors for Teams Future Group. An accomplishment. Highly encourage all of you to Teams Future Group in your city, to networking and in-person. Generally, just give you some teams about information. I'm a Microsoft employee, so I work with partners. And then I'm a UC enthusiast and antique collector. So I live on Long Island. So my wife and I like to use real estate sales. That's where I purchase most all of my fun stuff. And that's just a couple of them. Claim to fame there. That's in order from left to right. 1917 Victor. Before it was a Corolla. So no electric parts, all mechanical. Place 78 minutes. So the doors on the top are your volume control. You You've all seen the old Victrolas with the big horn that goes up. This one goes down. Here's a rotary candlestick phone. And then that music box is from 1895. It is called a symphonian for those who know music box. It plays 7-inch discs. Sound is that's great. So I enjoy collecting antique stuff. My goal one day will be to. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into the meat. I'm going to set the stage a little bit with some what we like to call scary numbers. Okay. We've done each time we do this presentation, the numbers continue to increase. Every year we update these numbers. We'll go through some of these. Okay. Who here thinks that, and I love asking this question in every presentation, who here thinks that Microsoft is a security company? Number one. Question number two, and actually I see some hands going up. When I first started asking that question past couple of years, everyone's like, yeah, right. Microsoft causes security problems. No, they are a security company. In fact, I'd argue they're one of the largest on the planet. And I'll go through these numbers, and I want you to remember that and think about these numbers, right? So Microsoft, they've got 15,000. Well, actually, they've got 34,000 cybersecurity-focused engineers at Microsoft. Most full-time focused security companies don't have that many employees. Microsoft has 34,000 of them, right? Microsoft analyzes 100T, that's a trillion signals every single day coming in. Where do they get those signals from? Well, when you think about it, how many Windows 11 systems are out there? How many Windows 10, Windows 8, and yes, even Windows XP systems are out there, right? Over 1 billion, probably close to 2 billion when you add them all up. How many people use Outlook.com, Hotmail.com, Live.com? How many people have those email addresses still to this day? They're all out there, and they get into the hundreds of millions. When you add up all the products that Microsoft has, either the free ones or the pay ones, Xbox Live, right? It adds up to over 200 different products. And off of a lot of those products, Microsoft receives, again, 100 trillion signals every single day. That number's going up. What was it, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago? It was like 76 trillion, and then it went up to 90 some trillion, and now it's at 100 trillion. If you read the quarterly reports from Microsoft, they usually update those numbers in there. And since the earnings just came out last week, that's where that number came from. Microsoft also has over 7,000 password attacks every single second. It's still the number one attack vector. It's just password sprays, just trying to guess, using into passwords. That's all they have to do, right? Multi-factor authentication, still the number one way to thwart 99% of all attacks out there because it's username and password based, right? MFA, I don't have the latest number on that, but it used to be something like 3% of all accounts that Microsoft hosts out there have MFA, right? 3%. That's a hell of an attack area. So Microsoft also partners up with about 15,000 different security partners. The MISA program, Microsoft Intelligence Security Association, a lot of partners are part of that. Microsoft also receives 8.3 billion, many more billion emails than what's up on the screen. But of that, 8.3 billion phishing emails were blocked in Q1. That's huge. So when you take all these numbers and you start to add them all up, and you think about the sheer size and the spectrum of what Microsoft witnesses every single day out there over the accounts that we use all the time, Microsoft gets a lot of data, a lot of information, making them the number one attack network in the world, even more so than the US DoD. It used to flip-flop. Now Microsoft is just clearly number one, right? There's a lot in there. This slide deck is available. Don't worry about taking a picture of this right now. But let's go through a few more here. It's not just Microsoft saying, hey, there's a lot of problems out there, right? Look at some of the other stats. Microsoft has its own security report they come out with every year. It should be out like any week now. I think it's right around this time of year that it comes out. Verizon has theirs, Cisco, SonicWall, WatchGuard, Proofpoint. Here's a couple of quotes and numbers up here about the different types of attacks that are out there. And again, I'm setting the stage with some numbers for you all to keep in mind. If you read some of these security reports, cyber attacks start with email. Verizon says they witness about 46% of that. But look over here in the Microsoft Digital Defense Report, 99% of all attacks start with phishing email. Phishing remains the dominant delivery method for threats. WatchGuard will tell you that. Threat actors largely leverage compromised internal or trusted business partner email accounts to then get in and move laterally and start to move around the network. That's from Cisco, right? They're all saying the same thing. It might be a little bit different numbers, different percentages, but they're all saying the same thing out there. So phishing email, keep that in mind. Number one way in. Microsoft, these are some of the other latest numbers. 450 million paid seats of Microsoft 365 as of January. 360 million Teams active users and 26 million PSTN users for Teams. That means that Microsoft is a huge network ripe for attack every time, right? If you're going to go after someone, go after Microsoft. So current email, I cross that out, instant messaging threat landscape. How many people know that within the Microsoft tenant now, there's not just phishing simulations, but there's also Teams attack simulations? You guys seen that? Good, right? That only came out, what, maybe 3 years ago? Yeah, 3-4 years ago. Why? Why did Microsoft start this? It's because Teams became so popular, just like Zoom did during the COVID, first year or two of COVID, right? Both those services took off, that the threat landscape started to expand. It wasn't just accounts and going after email. It's once they came in through a spam email, someone clicked on it, credentials were stolen, then there was a breach. Now I'm inside the network. I don't know what company you work for, but if I'm your friend, your coworker, and I send you a link, hey, check this out, man, your guard is down. You just click on it. You don't even think about it, right?
So if you remember Target, that's the exact moment Target can't.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics of that one. Yeah.
Call. Don't any goes on their network, right? Network. I have an ID. And that's how it's very.
Yeah. Just it plays through every single day, right? So you've got spam simulations, file scanning, MFA for all users. There are things that you can do out there to help protect your users. But these things, most of them have been out there for a long time, but yet most organizations still are not putting these things into practice. Again, it's setting the stage for some of the demos that you're about ready to see. So going forward, we're going to see a lot more malware generation by AI. That's huge out there. The spam messages are becoming more and more creative. I mean, there's some of the simulations that are out there right now that we're getting through work. It's like, wow, that's pretty good. You got me. How many people have been fooled? I have. I'll admit that. But it's there for a reason. It's training, right? Keep my guard up. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Scott. Now that I set the stage, is Microsoft the largest security company on the planet? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't have any prize. I don't have prizes or anything. I can't pay you, but I'll hand it over to Scott.
It's,
high five. There we go.
You guys have questions? Does somebody know for the recording, because it's being recorded? I'm going to answer the mic. Like that.
So yes, Microsoft is the largest, but do you feel there is a need to have Cisco? But it does seem that it's complementary. So I'm from Microsoft, yes, all the way. But have you seen the need for Cisco still, at least at the hardware level, layer of your the way that you're typing documents, instead of labeling to keep everything within purview. Yeah, today. I just wondered, what else do you think you could also mix everything? Because you never want to have all your eggs in one basket. I'm sorry, at least one or two. Like I put Microsoft and Cisco.
Yep. I mean, there's different rules of thought on that, right? It used to be, remember the old defense in depth? Like it was always, multiple checkpoints, multiple vendors all over the place. That was really before Microsoft really came to the market with a lot of the E5 security products, the security add-on suite. I don't see a reason. That's just my personal opinion. If I was running a company, would I do that? I would just stick 100% with Microsoft at this point. But who's to say if you had Cisco for years and you're happy with them, or Sophos, keep them. Keep them. You've got something in place. You've got that checkpoint covered out there. I think in this deck, do we have the cybersecurity reference architecture, Rob? I think there's a slide on that. We'll get to that. I'll come back to your question.
That's that phishing is the number one component we in on a what multi-layer protection with that or email filter.
When I think about Microsoft Defender for Office
Yes.
and email filtering coming in, it does a darn good job, right? Internally and externally. I mean, look, nothing's 100%, right?
Layers that filters.
More complexity is then more costs, right? So there's a balance that you have to have there.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, that's tricky. Microsoft has partners because, not everybody wants 1/3 the chip.
Yeah.
Right.
How many people saw the presentation I did here last year? I know a couple of you did, yeah? Okay, great. So I got a lot of requests last year after that was done to actually go more in depth, to explain exactly what was done, how we did it, things like that. But for the people that didn't see the presentation last year, we're going to show it again as far as the hack goes. So the attacker set up an Evil Jinx server out on the internet. Attacker used AI to produce a convincing attack. Sent out a phishing email to somebody internal in the company. User logs in with their ID using MFA or not. It doesn't matter to me. I can hack it one way or the other. Then the attacker captured the token and used it. So after the harvest, the attacker accessed OAuth, gathered information, set up email forwarding, sent out emails and stuff like this. Okay? Bottom line. The attacker sent a Teams message to Stephanie. Goes like this. Pretty straightforward, right? Stephanie falls for the bait. Let's go take a look here. It can be an external conversation too. Okay, let's go take a look here. So here is Teams right here. Here is my Evil Jinx server over here on the other side. Right or left, I don't know. Let's go take a look and see what's happening here. Stephanie sends a response back to TK in this particular case. Take a look. We're already starting to see stuff showing up here in Evil Jinx. Okay?
Now, who's doing the sign-in at this point?
Stephanie is doing the sign-in at this point. She gets prompted for MFA after her password here. Lots of stuff is coming in here. Let's go take a quick look. You have a hard time reading it? I'm sorry, it's green on black. But look here. Detected authorization tokens, all in here. Okay? Let's go take a look at this a little bit more in depth. Yep. And yes, this is a real Office 365 tenant.
Wait, did I just see she was in Teams and then she logged back into Teams?
She was in Teams, okay? In this particular case, the attacker just sent her a message to go to the Office 365 portal.
Gotcha.
Just for demo, okay? I could have sent her to Facebook. I could have sent her to her bank account. I will capture that token every single time. What did Evil Jinx capture? Let's go take a quick look. We saw the same stuff. It was over here on the left, right? Take a look down here. Here is Stephanie's username. Here's her password. I love flowers. We grabbed all that. Now, here's where the cool stuff starts. We'll let this play through here. And I'm going to grab a little bit more information about session number 10. That's her token right there. I captured her token. How can I use that capture to go forward? We'll see. Watch this. The attacker in this case is going to log into OAuth. Now, it's really straightforward. The attacker is going to copy that token right there, and he's going to inject that token using, this is a regular plugin, by the way. You can grab this in any kind of extension. He's going to inject that token over there into OAuth. He injects the token, refreshes the page into Outlook, just like that. Yeah.
There's this same auth flow. Does this same auth flow occur when you use safe links and app passwords?
Yeah, I can still intercept it. If we take a look here, we'll take a look up there. He's logged on as Stephanie. See that? Let's let this finish playing through here. We'll see what the other kind of stuff that the attacker is doing. He does some malicious stuff. He's going to start doing mail forwarding. He's going to send the CEO of the company an email saying, hey, we need to pay this right now. Here is my routing numbers and stuff like that. See, Patty's the CEO of the company now. See that? Now, going to put in some rules, forward all of the rules that are going to Stephanie outside the organization, and also delete anything that comes from Patty going to her. So Patty won't ever, she won't ever see any emails from Patty saying, why do I need to pay this now? Okay. And sends an email out. And no, I can't type very fast.
So Scott, at this point, you're inside. There's no external tagging, no nothing. Nothing. Just there's the emails coming from the CFO. That's it. You know, all the other rule sets are gone.
That's right.
Trusted user.
At that point, yes.
Does the token ingest negate or skip over any conditional access policies that are in place?
Absolutely, because the user is logging on as Stephanie. Goes right through conditional access. Yeah.
So apologies for my ignorance on this, but with the E5 licensing, just like you get chat simulation for email, do you get chat simulation just with any kind of campaign?
It's coming, yeah.
Okay.
It's coming.
When?
I believe it's coming first quarter this year.
Okay.
It's already out in private preview. It's been out in private preview for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we keep saying it's coming, it's coming. And I'm sorry?
How do you get in that private preview channel?
Kevin, do you remember?
Yeah, I think it's public. Like if you have E5 or you get on a demo of E5 or get security suite, you should be able to do that.
Okay, so
Hold on, Scott, we got one more.
yeah,
That question about conditional access. If that token's hijacked, though, it doesn't still go through conditional access IP block specific IPs.
you could do it. You could do an IP block and stuff like that. Sure, and at that point it'll be denied because you're not in a trusted location or something like that. Sure.
What else could an IP block be? What else could an IP block be instead of just a geo fencing, right? Like, hey, if you're coming from an IP address that's outside of the US, that's one way to block it. What's another way to block it? How does Azure block IPs? There's another way that they do it. Okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so you can do it that way, but know that Azure on the back end is monitoring on where attacks are coming from. Maybe they're denial of service attacks, whatever they may be. Malicious IP lists, exactly. That's another way that Azure is blocking these bad IPs.
Keep that in mind because that'll come up there.
Okay, so what did it take? Installed the Kali Linux server. Took me 10 minutes to install. Plenty of resources on YouTube on how to do it. I installed Evil Jinx. It took me another 10 minutes to do. Plenty of resources on YouTube as well. Took me 5 minutes to do Evil Jinx. Evil Jinx is a reverse proxy man-in-the-middle attack. Okay, so Evil Jinx is a reverse proxy server. Okay, replicates the existing websites. Exactly. Okay, remember, it's just proxying the information back. So I'm saying, look like Facebook, look like LinkedIn, look like Office 365. It doesn't matter. I've got hundreds of templates I can use. Yeah.
You that gotten out to
I'm sorry?
the enterprise apps to the reverse proxy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so grab the logon information, all the PII and stuff like that. Now, the attack flow from last year, TK in this case, set up the Evil Jinx server, sent the stuff out to Stephanie. Stephanie just did her normal thing. She thought she was just doing the right thing, signing up for free headsets from CDW. Okay? But what about DNS? Did anybody catch that? The DNS that I sent there wasn't the same DNS for Office 365. Did anybody catch it? It'd be hard to catch because of the little print, okay? How would I take care of DNS? RNICROSOFT looks a lot like Microsoft.com, right? Outlook.com is called type squatting. That's one way to do it. But what if the attacker is local? What if the attacker is in the same room as you?
I think I'd leave.
You should be scared. Anybody have one of these? I saw some of them in here today. This is your own personal hotspot. When I sign up with this one, this is my access point. This is my DNS. The way I do this at my house, I sign up with this here, and I've got my own VPN going all the way back to my house. Okay? Not only because of hackers, but Netflix doesn't need to know that I'm downtown talking at this conference when I want to watch Netflix. They don't need to know. And so I also have my own Roku streaming stick. I plug it in the back of the TV, and I watch Netflix just like I'm sitting at home. Okay? This takes care, or would take care of a lot of that stuff. If I came in with a device like this. Real simple. Anybody recognize what this is? This is called the ESP32 Marauder. I can replicate any of your access points, and I can rebroadcast them. If you had any type of logon page for that access point, I can duplicate that. And all I have to do is produce a signal that's stronger than your local access point, and you will connect to me. Period, the end. and then I own you. Could be something as little as this, sitting in my laptop, or sitting in my laptop bag. Or, yeah, it looks like a Nintendo 64. It's a Raspberry Pi. It would take care of this whole entire building.
Scott, how much did they cost?
In this particular case, this was $50. We could have a lot of fun playing with these. I tore apart my house playing with these, pissed off my kids beyond belief, because you know what? At 10 o'clock at night, I want them to stop playing Xbox, and I could just interrupt their signal right now.
So we're at the point now who is the strongest net signal is the one that wins the fight of owning the device.
That's right.
Okay.
I duplicate the access point. Whoever's the strongest one wins. You connect to me.
Okay, sick. So you just don't have an access point that is the strongest. Wait, that's your
That's right. So, what we're talking about is called captive portal coercion. Okay? The attacker, this is just a normal flow. The user goes to a normal AP, goes to the internet. But I put in Wi-Fi pawning tool here, put in my Evil Jinx servers, put in anything else I want to put in. We'll start talking about beef in the next meeting, which is, I think, in about 30 minutes or so. And I redirect the traffic. It's that easy. Okay? Scott, I think this one's up to you.
All right. Scott, no. Oh, right. So, again, Scott Rendell with Microsoft. How do you view our managing file systems? Teams. Fair number. So, believe it or not, it is an attack vector, right? But it's not the kind of attack vector you would think. Right? So, we want to take you through some of the best practices about how you're going to harden maybe some things that you thought about. So, think about the fact that these are not embedded. Okay, but a lot of people will deploy them as such. So, just throw them on the network, not consider VLAN segmenting or anything like that. They'll treat them as a bunch. Like, just throw it out there, it's fine. They'll allow multiple logins. You know, just I'm an old phone guy. Right? So when it comes to security, when I put a phone on a disk, what is it about? Right? I'm thinking about, I just hope this thing works. Right? Teams phones aren't hard enough. So the fact that I can get it logged in and you get it with multi-factor, I'm like, hey, good. I can start making phone calls now. Get everybody off my back that still wants a phone. But a lot of people might not be I'm not DLAN savvy. So when I deploy phones, and by the way, I don't work for a customer, so I'm deploying phones, it's on my other microphone. You know, anybody to anything.
In case somebody has any questions.
Anyway, you know what you want, and not only that, but the phones are chatting, right? Especially if you're using multicast. Right? So a lot of the phones we'll use was your phone communication. And then there's this idea of the shared device. You know, if somebody, believe it or not, this still happens. If somebody snatches a common area phone, right, which could happen, I've seen it actually happen. It doesn't happen very often. But somebody snatches that, takes it home, right? It's got credentials in it already. Those credentials could be stolen. Now, granted, not a scare tactic. It's not going to happen very often. But these things can happen. These are the kind of things you want to think about. So, and then the final one is they're all Android. Now, by now, they should all have done the AOSP transition. So Microsoft's fully supported within our admin center now. So that one really kind of goes away. But what that's talking to really is making sure that your firmware is all up to date. Okay. And there's one that we're going to talk about that's not in here yet. And that is using the manufacturer's vision as well. Use some extra. All right. So within the team admin center, we've got some things, some best practices. Many of you are using these. But if you're not, there's things to be considered, right? They say 60 seconds to prevent for screen lock. You know, if it's a common area phone, that's unless, right? You lock it up, or at least have someone nearby to keep an eye on it. Not going to do that, but 60 seconds, pretty fair. Then there's the whole idea of the admin pin. Unless you're doing bulk provisioning, or if you're doing bulk provisioning, chances are the admin password. So you got to get in there and do that. The unfortunate part is, via hard reset, factory reset, you can figure out how to do it. They can use it, right? You happen to know what the factory password is. You could technically do that. But there's some other things that you use to block that. Turn it off Bluetooth, unless you have a specific need, right? Wired headsets work just fine. But then there's the whole idea of the USB port as well. So we were talking with one particular manufacturer, gave us a scenario where the phone can be put into engineering mode.
Yeah.
On a reboot. You could actually hack the phone and the network via the USB. So if they're not using USB and you don't need it, there's another one. I would never say where I'm thinking I might have a Bluetooth headset that I want to know. There's no specific requirements, but of course, auto updates within the Teams admin center, you're going to have auto updates already. Teams admin center will let you know, plus the manufacturers portal also let you know these things are now on a date. This is where you can use conditional access to block these phones that don't get updated. And of course, hot desking on personal phones to reduce shared functions. Again, it's one of those features that you might not think about, or you do think about, and it gets forgotten. That maybe the phone gets moved. When we're thinking about conditional access, this one just occurred to me. The other, and this is where we were talking about the IP addressing. So you can put in conditional access. That phone has to be on the person, so that the person doesn't steal the phone, take it home, fire it up with those credentials, or factory reset, what have you. So these are some easy things that maybe you don't think about, which is what we wanted to talk about when it comes to this. So again, conditional access and Intune, requiring a compliant device. So making sure that the firmware is updated, right? Blocking device code flow. Now, I had to look this one up. So apparently, common area phones use device code flow to log in. This type of login is not an actual. Data locations, again, corporate networks like we just talked about, exclude user from MFA. Phones don't do the MFA interaction, again, via conditional access. So if you're in conditional access and you're making these kind of changes, then you clearly understand how security works, and how the phones work. Make yourself more secure. Again, ASOP enrollment, and finally, any compliant policies that set some of those OS requirements. So these are just some of the things you can do when it comes to your network and your phone security, because it's not something people think about. And then finally, you can see that both Yearly, Audio Codes, and Poly, who are our three primary vendors, all have via their management portal things like zero touch, disabling the local web UI, right? I think Audio Codes does that by default.
Yep.
Doing certificate-based authentication, the bulk user uploads, for compliance purposes. That way, you know all your programs finally letting that apply. So just a little blurb on how you guys can lock down phones, because it's an area that you really don't think about. So with that, good questions.
Oh, everything that you did for phone, you guys have one for this. Same thing with video systems. And just don't forget the extra layer of putting the thing over the camera on laptops and on that, because they're very spyable that someone and metering protecting those.
Everybody hear that? Yeah, so very good best practices. Yes.
So, what is weird for factories and what is the that is still and for beats when we start it?
So when you factory reset and get it into the engineering mode, that's when the USB port becomes active.
Right, the feeling that was that, like, how Shred is exposing that.
Well, the idea is not only would you have the phone, but you might have credentials. Again, it's a very, very narrow scenario, but one possible.
Right, and then locking up common area. It might common area is somebody will see it. That the char is to come out, so how locking basic accusable for.
Yeah, so you could set it up via PIN, right, and person could just say, hey, I'd like to use this phone. What's the PIN? Right? So that the phone stays locked and somebody's not trying to. Right.
Common area phone, so as to request for those.
Yes, and that's for all phones, actually, yes. Yep. So again, but if you're not familiar, like me, I'm not familiar so much with that kind of stuff. I might have set up a phone somewhere. I'm not a customer. I'm not a customer. Not me. Possibly somebody. So these were the ideas. So because we were brainstorming, like, well, what do we need to talk about phones? It's like, well, I don't think people actually think that phones could be attack vector. The attack vector that the phones have completely different from the scenarios you saw. However, once someone gets credentials, gets a token, now the phones can become vulnerable. So it was something we wanted to talk about because we don't really talk about phones anymore. That's why we put this section. Other questions? Yes.
I know you mentioned the common area phones for doing the not blocking the device coach log. You have to do that with MTRs too.
Well, MTRs, yeah.
The resource accounts. Yeah, you have to block the device coach stuff. No, you can't block it or else they can't.
Sure.
No, that was Jared 2025 with the friends.
Yeah. We like to do that.
So for device code flow or even token snatching scenario, what got actually that?
For the token snatching stuff, nothing.
So
User education.
yeah, still daddy.
User education.
Yeah, they're always one step ahead of us.
Don't let children play with sharp kitchen knives. Any plans for you mentioned the various ASOP builds from wonderful vendors for Teams phones? Any plans that you're aware of for MDEP to come into the Teams phone environment?
You know, MDAP keeps growing as our partner community, growing and offer more and more things. So all I can say it's a possibility, but I'm not aware of any.
MDEP is Microsoft's and Microsoft Global Ecosystem Platform, which is essentially a Microsoft-based ASOP platform. It's showing about Teams raise and Teams spice to audio phones. It will be done peaceful as it was MDEP is a platform to have an implementation. But I think that's what it's stated. And we will use it. So it's all hit there. Yeah, we have all devices with all gadget phones and running MDEP. Don't you get it in the world? I do. We probably can set their own ES for Teams.
Hey guys, I'm going to take that. Nice guy.
Okay, it's quiz time. How many of you were paying attention? Here's what we got. We got 6 questions. We've got 6 little fun devices to give out where you can go practice hacking stuff at your home. Not here. Not after the party tonight.
Yeah, so you can pick them up tomorrow afternoon on the way out the door.
At your home, okay? Annoy your kids to death with them and have fun with it. You worry about it, okay? So, first question. Who fell for the bait? What was her name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie, okay, I'll give number 1 right here. Okay, next question. What kind of server was installed? Evil G's. Very good, very good. Who wants one? A lot of hands went up. There you go. Next question. How many password attacks does Microsoft get every second?
1,000.
7,000. Very good. Right over here.
Congratulations to the man in the back in the red shirt.
There you go. You need the power cord too. You don't work without that.
And if they have lithium batteries in them, don't put them with your luggage.
How many PSTN Teams users are there? 26 million. Very good. Very good.
29?
Might be a little low. That's what was officially on their documentation. Here you go.
But
Children as danger off.
Yes, very good. Okay. Last question. What's the screen lock timeout setting?
it's
Who?
let's say something.
I need a hand up so I can see who's yelling at me. Man.
That's
We'll go down over this way. There you go.
all right. The funny part is they would probably opt for more. Right? Like it's just a lesson. And
Questions? Anybody have any more questions for us? All right.
there's a win back. You still get your mic, Scott.
Yeah.
It was hard to see the URL. Was that unencrypted connection? It was presented to Stephanie for the URL.
It's fully encrypted. Yeah.
But did you use your own public key certificate? Or
Use Microsoft's. Yeah. Because I was able to intercept the DNS, okay, say www.microsoft.com really points to my Evil Jinx server. My Evil Jinx server is the proxy server, and it's just going to pass the certificate right through it. Okay? Any more questions? Yeah.
Yes. Are there any options coming to tie that session token to hardware? Like I read about that at one point in time, an ability to turn on, I think it was like A5 or 5 licensing to do that session token, lock it down to hardware, but I haven't seen anything concrete on it.
The only way around it is not to use MFA and use passwordless authentication, because that's tied to the certificates both in your tenant and on the workstation. That's the only way around this. Okay? Any more questions?
But did you seriously just say passwordless authentication is the way you think? It just seems like an oxymoron. Yeah, just don't use a password. No, I understand how it works. It seems funny when you say it. Oh, no, passwordless authentication.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, all right. Everybody have a good rest of the day.
Thanks for attending.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Dear.